Yeah, we will.
We're also gonna have a couple Zoom calls.
Yeah, we have some people on Zoom, that's okay.
So let's start with the live people that are here. Coach, if you make an opening comment, then we'll go to questions.
Don't really need the microphone, I guess, but yeah, just incredibly proud of them. Another gritty, hard fought, team effort in the second half to fight and scrap against a really good team. They made it tough on us early. I think their physicality and their help was it just gave us a little bit of pause in the first half. We were just kind of a step slow or a half step slow, just kind of reacting, and instead of taking the fight to them. And I think in the second half, we just did a better job. We had a little better spacing. We did a really good job, making that extra pass. But then, of course, obviously on the defensive side, we weren't giving up as many clean, easy driving lanes like we did in the first half. And so I think it's kind of a same song type of thing here. But at the end of the day, the win's the win. It's all that matters. We're going to try to clean it up because I think if we can start getting off to better starts, we could end up being pretty good.
Questions for either the coach or the players?
Coach, what are you seeing in your team day in and day out to deliver such a strong start to the season?
Nothing really. I think this is a group that, they've got experience, so they know that the hard work they've put in is what's got them here and put them in this opportunity now to play for a championship, which is special on any occasion. So these guys know what to do to get their body right, get their mind right, and but I think what we talk about in the locker room after every game is if we can just kind of fine tune a few things that nobody's got to get taller, run faster, or jump higher. We just got to be a little more tuned in from the start, or we got to do a little bit better job, rebounding or spacing or whatever it may be that we can end up being a pretty good team.
With EJ being the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Week, how does the team feed off his work ethic?
I think he's providing a steady hand, especially in the second half. That's one thing we're going to challenge him with is get off to a little bit better of a start on Wednesday night. But I think anytime you can have somebody that has as many games under his belt, being where he's been at, it just helps provide a steady hand. And then of course the way Keyshawn's playing is adding another kind of weapon that we have. And we still haven't really seen a couple of guys get fully comfortable yet, in my opinion, which their attitude's great. It's where it needs to be. Their work ethic's great. That's where it needs to be. But I think we can even still take that next step offensively as a group.
You held Southern Illinois scoreless for about 7 minutes in the second half while you made your run. Is there anything that keyed that defensively for you, or what do you think happened there?
Well, I think just on the defense, of course, obviously it was on the defensive end, but we weren't getting beat as much. I think in the first half they just had cleaner looks. The passes were on, like we say a lot, you can't let them throw darts out of to each other, especially a team like Southern Illinois. They're an elite passing team. They're an elite spacing team. So that was our big challenge at halftime, was to just make those passes a little bit harder. And I think anybody that's watched a handful of the Rebel games so far this year, when a pass is clean and it's to a wide open guy, they're sticking out. They're not happening a ton. So when they do happen, it sticks out. But on the the other side of that coin, we're forcing a lot of turnovers. We're getting a lot of deflections, and I think this group understands that if we can do that as our baseline, and then just continue to get a little bit better on the backside or understand when we need to go where, just kind of playing off of each other, then it'll just continue to get better.
It seems to be an early trend this season that your defense gets better later in games and as the game goes on. Is that anything that's intentional? Why do you think that may be the case for you guys?
Well, I think a large part of it is, EP. Eli Parquet, the way he picks up the ball full court. When it gets down into the second half and those possessions get a little, just kind of a little tighter, it's really annoying to have somebody in your jersey the whole game. The way Jackie comes in and picks up the ball full. So it's kind of a continuous 40-minute thing where I think we just, the guys are just pushing that first catch out a little bit farther, making that, second catch a little bit, off target. And I think over time that just, that's annoying to play against. And so, hats off to the guys for just kind of sticking with it and just making it as difficult as possible.
Did you make a change on the offense when you were running the weave late to try to get Demas caught in situations where you have to play big?
Well, they're an elite defensive team in the half court. So as a staff, we talked in one of the timeouts just about doing something a little different. And what we just kind of ended up settling on was ball screening with the guard. And just kind of putting them in a situation maybe that, because their bigs are so good in ball screen defense, anytime they could get kind of into the shell defensive spots, they're elite. And so that's kind of what we came up with, was just to set a ball screen with the guard. Not necessarily anybody specifically, just we just wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit and try to get them in closeout situations. But in the half court, they're a really, really good defensive team.
How big is it to have guys like EJ who are willing to take charges? Keyshawn takes charges as well, but there was a charge late where Vic was actually covering, I think, Jones on the perimeter, and Vic, basically did a great job. Fed. I don't even know if you could see EJ. EJ got run over and gone.
I saw him on the ground rolling around for a little bit, but yeah, I think Vic is unique because a lot of times he may be our quote unquote 5 out there, but it's not a mismatch if he gets out on the perimeter. He's as athletic as they come. He's as driven to guard the ball as they come. So, but yeah, he did a great job of not letting the guy fully beat him, and he forced it right down into the help, and EJ was there. It was a huge charge. It was probably the play that ended up kind of pushing us kind of over the hump, closer to that finish line.
For both of you guys, drawing charges, taking charges, is that a learned trait? Is that something you've always been good at? Either one of you wants to answer.
Nah, I mean, it's something that the coach is drilling us every day. I don't care if it's walkthrough. I don't care what it is. It's something important for our defense. It's something you got to be willing to do. You got to be a team guy, selfless to do that. And I think that's something we all take pride in. And help us win the game today. Help them get guys in foul trouble. So it gets the ball back. So we see how important it is. So I just think we take pride in that.
How about you, Keyshawn?
What was the question again?
Is it a learned trait or, something that you've always had the ability to take charges? Because not everyone wants to do it.
Well, I think it's just something that you gotta want to do. It's part of winning. You gotta scrap. You gotta get dirty. So I think that's just a part of winning. So if you want to win, you'll take charges.
For Keyshawn, did you see something that you could take advantage of physically in terms of going right at them? You went in and took a lot of contact to try to get finishes.
No, I just trusted the coach, the plan. Really, the plan was just to get down here and create something. It really wasn't necessary for me to shoot layups and do everything. Just get down here, create something, and go from there.
EJ, does it feel like your defense gets better as the game goes on? And if so, do you feel like you guys just sort of get locked in, or what do you think?
I think it just being consistent and wears them down. Those patches aren't as strong when they're fresh. To start a game, I just think we stay consistent, stay with our rules, kind of load up and make guys' passing vision harder. And I think they get tired. Fatigue comes, like you said, with guys like EP, Jackie, Luis, everybody, taking pride on defense, not just letting everybody pass it where they want to. And I think it just, wears them down. And I think, it just helps us in the long run.
We have one Zoom question. Let's try this. This is Andy from the RJ. You ready, Richard?
Hey, appreciate the time. EJ, what is it about Vic that makes him so effective in a game like this?
Just his versatility. Like Coach said, he's not. People think he's a mismatch, but when he gets in the stance, he can guard anybody. And that's his thing. He's his biggest task or obstacle to get over. But once he gets over that, he can guard anybody. He can rebound. He can do anything on the floor, and he helps us out tremendously. Kind of goes cold small ball with him. And he's a willing defender. He's a willing teammate. He keeps everybody engaged. Keeps high energy. He just helps us out tremendously.
Definitely. And then can you walk us through that last play that you had, the mid-range number? What did you see? What were you looking for?
Looking for some points, kind of put some pressure on them. But not looking at anything specifically. My teammates gave me confidence, and I appreciate them for that. But, ultimately trying to win the game, get a good attempt up there to win the game. And I think, that's ultimately what happened.
Definitely. And then last thing, did this late start impact you guys at all, or how did that kind of feel? And have you ever played a game starting this late before?
No, I've never started a game this late. We try to go to bed early, so coach is making sure we went to bed early because we had a big tournament. So yeah, I mean, 10 o'clock start was kind of, you know, different, and they had an overtime game, so it was added on time. But you know, it's something that we can't let it beat us. We gotta, you know, handle anything that comes across us if we want to, you know, play late in the season and be one of those teams that, you know, does great things. So I think we did a good job of adjusting today, and I hope we keep adjusting.
Definitely. And then, Kevin, going forward, what do you guys need to do against Minnesota on Wednesday, I guess, since you guys checked the team a little bit today?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is going to be, you know, the post. I mean, they're big, they're physical. Our ball pressure is going to have to be elite, and not giving them clean looks to throw it down there to, you know, Payne, Garcia, in a battle, whoever it may be, because they've got a lot of really skilled big guys, which also kind of, you know, it's easy to forget about how good and talented and explosive their guards can be when just watching the Cal Baptist game with them, just seeing how kind of determined they were to play in the post and throw down to those guys. Those guys work incredibly hard. So we got our work cut out for us. It's a big opportunity, a big challenge. So, but we're gonna have to do our best to speed them up and just make those passes and those looks as difficult as possible, and then finish with a rebound.
We got one more Zoom that we'll call out at night. Richard?
Thank you.
Hey, guys, I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about the confidence as the game wore on. It seemed like you guys got more and more confident as the game wore down, and Kevin, kind of the same thing, just the confidence of this group.
But yeah, I think, I mean, there's a nice feeling of security right now that's growing with the coaching staff. Just you know, when the ball goes in a little bit in that second half, when we go on that run of how hard we can make it defensively for other teams, and you know, having a 5-point lead, 6-point lead, knowing it's 2 possessions, knowing how hard the guys are making other teams work for points late in the game, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling knowing that they're going to just make them work really hard, and you know, a lot of concern and focus can then go on to, like we talked about tonight, we had 2 timeouts, or we had 3 timeouts and the possession. You know, just making sure to, I don't think that's putting the cart before the horse with this group, because they do such a good job of just kind of just sticking to what they were doing to get stops. But it is good. You can see it. You know, the intensity ramps up. They start to feed off of each other, and so it's fun to be a part of and fun to watch.
Thank you. Thank you. It's now Tuesday, so do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.